Welcome, I'm Garette, and this has BINBUSTER, where I buy, watch, and review budget bin movies for you. Today's movie is the third in our series of D3, The Mighty Ducks. This one today sees our intrepid group of underdogs going to college, i.e. prep school. And as always, I'll give you my good, my bad, my thoughts, and my rating for this movie. I apologize, I forgot to do the rating for the last one, so that's why I wrote it down in the subtitle like I did. I won't forget the rating on this one because we're going to talk about this movie today. First, we'll start off with the good. Good is seeing Charlie working at the skate shop. Same skate shop where we saw Gordon work at and Hans work at. That shop has now come full circle in all three movies. We've seen it in all three movies. We know the importance it plays in the role as kind of like a headquarters for the Ducks. The juvenile, another good thing is all the juvenile pranks that them and the varsity team do when they go to Edenall Academy. They're their pranks back and forth, like the bugs in the bedroom. And the favorite one of all, the favorite one I have of all, is the meal that the varsity skipped out on at a fancy restaurant and left our Ducks with the bill. And they had to wash dishes for it. That's always a good prank, folks. I laughed hysterically when I saw that because you see it coming, you know it's coming, but they don't. Another good on here that I like is also Banks. Banks kind of gets a raw deal in all three. Banks kind of gets a raw deal in all three films. One, he was on the Evil Hawks and didn't want to play for the Ducks when the districts were rerouted. The second one, for Team USA, he gets replaced by Kenan Thompson's Russ Tyler because he injures himself. In this one, he joins the varsity team. Why? Because he's that good. No, because he's one of them. There's a reason the Hall brothers call him a cake eater throughout the thing. Cake eater is a derogatory term for those that don't know, for someone who's well off. They always eat cake. I'm not well off and I don't like cake, so that's what that means. Yeah, there's someone who's well off because they eat cake all the time, which means cake is a fancy food, according to the people who made this word up. But anyways, I digress. So Banks is playing on the varsity squad, so his Duck friends hate him. Let's prank. Or when we prank varsity, we're going to also prank Banksy. But he's one of us. No, he's varsity. And that's the mentality we have through this. Another good one is that their coach embracing Coach Orion, because Gordon Bombay is no longer their coach in here. Gordon Bombay is a lawyer in this one again. Good for him for going back into law. We see that come in play when the boys' scholarships come revoked. He's seen in that scene saying, these are contracts. They're binding contracts. You said that they work, that these kids keep up their grades. They can play hockey on these scholarships. It's a binding contract. You guys can't get out of it. So he does that. He goes, I have some unfinished business in Chicago. I wonder who that is. Yeah, it's Dean Portman. If you guys haven't figured it out, Dean Portman's from Chicago. So he's going back to get Dean Portman. The good is that their new coach, Coach Orion, like I was saying, embraced their Duck side. He calls everyone into center ice and he goes, you guys don't play or practice like warriors. And they're like, what? So they're getting ready to do more conditioning because that's how he is. He goes, you guys know what you are? You're Ducks. And he places back out all their Ducks gear and uniforms and stuff. I kind of like that because it's their new coach saying, here's your past, embrace it, but don't dwell in it because you guys, this is no longer your identity. Don't dwell in the past, but embrace it. I also liked when they come out to the ice and they're touching the ice with the tribute to Hans. Hans dies in this one. So that's a good tribute to Hans. They're touching the ice. It's a Norwegian sign of respect. So I kind of like how Hans was a big part of these kids' lives and which I don't understand how they're, with the new set coming in from 2, Hans was a big part of their lives. The District 5 guys, I understand. They knew Hans. But this one, not so much, but it's good to see, nonetheless. I appreciate it. As a guy who's part Norwegian, part Scottish, I enjoyed seeing that. And I actually asked about that, too. They said, yeah, it's a sign of respect. I'm like, okay, awesome. I really like the last scene of the movie, one of the last scenes of the movie, where you see Gordon Bombay just standing up in the doorway, watching the Ducks beat the varsity. Yes, our underdogs beat the varsity in this movie. So they beat varsity, and you see him standing there, he's smiling, and turns and walks out the door as everyone's quacking and celebrating the Ducks. Why? That smile on his face is telling him that he's taking them as far as they can go. They're now adults, and his work is done. That's what I felt of it. And I've talked with other people who've seen this movie, and they agree that that's kind of what they felt, that this whole thing was for Bombay. Now to the bads. The entire character assassination in this film of one of our beloved Ducks is my number one bad in here, and that is Charlie Conway. Think about it. In the first one, he's very optimistic. He's like, oh, we can do this, guys. We're District 5. We can do this. We need a new identity. Oh, the Ducks? Okay, that's awesome. Let's do this. He gets the team to rally behind Gordon Bombay. In the second one, he holds the team together. When Banks comes back and can play, instead of Russ taking up his spot, Charlie gives up his, and Gordon tells him, you're joining me on the bench. So we know that Charlie wants to coach, and that he's the glue that holds this team together. But right now, he's usually the voice of optimism and positivity with this team. But he's whiny and annoying in this. Oh, Gordon Bombay isn't our coach. Oh, sucks. This is stupid. Oh, we can't be Ducks anymore. Oh, man, this is stupid. You're taking away my seat? Oh, man, I won't quit. And he does. To not being a captain and Bombay being a lawyer again, he is whiny and sniveling in there. You would think after winning the Junior Goodwill Games, becoming a junior Olympian, you would think Charlie Conway would have his head on straight. Nope, he doesn't. Oh, this is all we are, and yay, we're better than this varsity team. Well, no, Bombay, we go loose. Yeah. That's pretty much Charlie Conway in this film. Honestly, another bad I wish in here, we learned more about Coach O'Brien. Coach Orion, sorry. We learned much more about him. We know that he's a former NFL player that retired because of his daughter being paralyzed. We see this in the scene where he's skating around with his daughter in a wheelchair on the ice. And Bombay showing this to Charlie and be like, see, this guy's not all tough. He might be tough on the outside, but this is who he really is. This is why he gave up hockey. Not because he couldn't hack it. Even Charlie thought he couldn't hack it in the NFL. That's why he's at Ian Hall. No, he stepped down because of this. And this is what this guy is. Family is more important to this guy than anything. Bombay was trying to get that into Charlie. And instilling in the fact that this is a family, Charlie. You're the captain of this family. This is your family. That's his family. Make that family your family. When they're at Eden Hall and Scholarship, Dean Portman didn't go the first time. But when he shows up, he signed his scholarship, comes in there at the last second, right before the last period shows up, and can play. He hasn't been at school all year. He comes in for the last quarter, and they allow him to play. What's up with that? And like I said, Jesse Hall didn't go. He had a full ride too. Why wasn't he there? I don't know. If anyone knows anything about that, just comment below if you have any theories on that. Now it's time for my overall thoughts. As a kid who loved D2, and I gave it 4 stars like I did the first one, I didn't even bother watching this when I was a kid. I waited till I was a little older to watch this just because, I mean, Emilio Estevez, I heard Gordon Bombay wasn't really much in it. But I felt, okay, so this is not going to be like a regular Ducks movie. Watch it again at like the age of 18 in college again. I see how D3 teaches important lessons about life and not relying on the past, but instead accepting and working hard in the present. And that's a lesson I just now was ready for when I was like 11 or 12. Since I just want to see a more quack attack hockey action. I know that's what everyone wants to see in these movies. Overall, some of the story flaws, like I said with Dean Portman and Jesse Hall not going up, but Dean Portman just showing up and doing that, didn't make any sense. Why out of all of them, Banksy got to be on varsity? Beats me. Coach not knowing more about Coach Orion's history, yeah. I would have loved to have seen more of his history, his backstory. But beyond that, there are plenty of silly moments that make D3 worth a watch still. Yes, it's not as great as the first one, not as great as the second one. I'll give it 3.5 stars. D3, The Mighty Ducks, is a 3.5 star movie. Why? Because it's there. As a movie for a kid, they might not understand. Like I said, it teaches important life lessons. But as an adult, you can appreciate those life lessons because you've probably lived through them. I know I have. And remember, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When you get a scholarship, you take it. No matter what your outcome is, always remember, don't rely on your past. Accept it and move on, because it is the past. And with that, watch D3, The Mighty Ducks. Make it a movie night. And always remember to dive right in.